I'm Taylor Zarzour, and this is the OTP. If you're watching the program, you know that I'm wearing this very cool new white sweatshirt that has a little Titans logo right in the middle of the chest of it.
It is very cool.
And I got it last week, and I've worn it like 6 times, and I want you to know I've washed it. Okay. It's clean.
It's an outer layer. You don't have to wash an outer layer every single time.
When you wear it every day, maybe.
Well, you did have it on yesterday, and I only know that because I noticed it yesterday.
Yeah, but
and I thought it looked really cool.
I thought I'd show it off to you and on our TV show.
Yeah.
And here on Monday Night Titans.
I really like it. I would have assumed it was clean.
You are wearing a pretty cool sweatshirt in your own right.
I'm wearing my Titans. I don't know if it's supposed to be a Christmas sweater. I guess it's not.
Yeah, it's kind of a Christmas sweater.
But it just says Titans real big. But here's the thing. It's the softest sweater I've ever owned, and it doesn't pill. And I love that. Soft sweaters that don't pill.
Well, it looks great on you.
Thank you.
I'm a little disappointed it does not look great on me.
But see, I just need to see this. I've heard tell that it did not look good on you. You claimed that it just wasn't your vibe. But, like, I'm wearing this sweatshirt. If I can pull it off, anybody can pull it off.
Yeah.
Trace Adkins had the same sweater
true.
on.
He did.
And he wore it, and he looked very good.
Our Titans radio statistician, Kevin Maloney, said absolutely not. You can't wear that. And then he watched he watched Trace wear it, and he said he's not pulling it off either.
Oh, I thought he looked great.
And then the most important voice in the world also told me that.
So she said big N-O.
She said no.
All right, well.
But anyway, I don't know. But I got her one of these. I got both of my daughters one of these sweatshirts. I love this new.
There's some really good Titans merchandise out right now, like some really solid Titans merch.
Well, that's why I brought it up. It's the time of year to think about these things.
Season of giving.
That's right. So I wanted to start with that. And this sweatshirt did come in handy at the Titans game. It was a little chilly.
It was chilly pups, yeah.
Yeah, you had the big jacket on.
So here's the thing about Nissan Stadium. And for whatever reason, I've been here for a long time. This is season 13 with the Tennessee Titans. 100% of the time, I forget that the Titans sideline for the second half of the game, especially if we have a noon kick, will be in complete shade.
Right.
Because of the direction of the stadium and the sun in the sky. Like, this happens every single week. 10 weeks a year for 13 years.
And
that's a lot of times. And I just cannot compute in my brain. So I go down to the sidelines. I know it's going to be chilly, but it's beautiful sun. And I had 4 layers, technically. I had like a T-shirt, a sweatshirt, an interior coat, and an exterior coat. And so I was able to, for the whole first half of the game, full just shed exterior coat, only rock the interior coat. Felt good. I was happy as a clam. And then the shade starts creeping in. And I swear, TZ, the temperature dropped 20 degrees from the start of the game to the end of the game on that sideline. I was frozen. And to the point that one of the team doctors came up to me and was like, "Are your fingers going to fall off?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so." He goes, "They're white." He goes, "I'm a doctor. That's bad."
Oh, no.
And I was like, "Well, they're just chilly. Like, it's okay." And so he brings me receiver's gloves, which are not great for, like, insulation, really. But it was a layer between me and the cold, and shoot, everything I picked up just stuck right to him. So that was great.
That's good.
I didn't drop a single thing after I put those gloves on. But it was really chilly. Huge shout out to the Titans fans who were on the Titans side of the stadium, because I feel you, it was cold.
You know it's going to be colder than what you experienced yesterday?
Cleveland, best of luck to you, my friend.
Yes.
I'll
be fine.
You've got to lean into it.
Oh, no, I'm totally leaning into it, and we're going to make Will Bowling lean into it on the Pinnacle sidelines.
Leaning even more.
Home is at the forefront of all we do. It's why we're so committed to caring for the places and spaces in which we work and live. Ashley, the official furniture provider of the Tennessee Titans. Genesis is the first and only official jeweler of the Titans, having earned that title since 2006. Titans players, coaches, and fans trust Genesis for the absolute best in selection, quality, customer service, and of course, value. For diamonds, engagement rings, designer fashion jewelry, and the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in Tennessee, Genesis is the hands-down winner. Genesis Diamonds in Green Hills and Cool Springs, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans. Little Caesars is the official pizza partner of your Tennessee Titans. Download the Little Caesars app and get your favorites delivered today. Delivery fees apply. Now back to the OTP.
And yeah, so we'll talk about that and all the layers we'll be wearing in Cleveland come this Sunday.
When you know it's going to be cold, you can just lean in and like really do it right. We went to Green Bay. We played in Green Bay one year, and we knew it was going to snow a lot.
Yeah.
Like there was an aggressive snowstorm that was happening that night when we were playing in Green Bay. So you lean into it. I brought 88 layers. I had like a suitcase and a half just full of stuff for that game. And I still froze my giblets off. Like I was still really, really cold. And it's the only game I've ever had to leave the sidelines because my feet were so cold.
Wow.
I was like, I cannot take this anymore. I can't handle it. Well, it was a COVID game, so I was up in the stands.
Oh, gosh.
And the stands collect snow.
Oh, yeah.
And there were no fans, so they didn't shovel the stands as they normally do. So I was standing in about like 6 inches of snow. My toes got so cold, I had to leave, stand under a heater, and then come back down.
Well, I'll be wearing 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of pants, and 4 shirts or jackets.
You need a hat, too.
Oh,
Hat's very important.
I have a new Titans toboggan
Well,
that
there you
came
go.
with the sweater you're wearing,
That's perfect.
and I'll be wearing that.
That will look nice.
Oh yeah, no, I've got the whole thing already mapped out for this Sunday.
Perfect.
Amie, it started strongly for the Titans on Sunday. Good defensive stop, get the Titans the football. They march all the way down the field, get inside the 10-yard line, drive stalls, you kind of kick a chip shot field goal. After that, though, pretty disappointing. You give up a touchdown, a fumble on a kickoff that I was a little surprised was overturned. Chimridike is losing the football as he's going to the ground. I thought his shoulder was already down. Evidently, I was wrong. I was wrong about a lot when it comes to the officials and what I thought on Sunday. And then gosh, who did we play yesterday?
Jacksonville.
Thank you.
The Jags.
The
I
Jags.
got you, man. I'm
My
here.
goodness.
It's
The
Monday.
Jaguars go back down, score a touchdown, and kick and score a 2-point conversion, and it's all of a sudden 15-3. The next time the Titans touch the football after that promising first drive, and it just felt like anything that could go wrong did.
Yeah, it really did. And what made it extra frustrating is it came off of 2 games where you felt like there was a lot of momentum. And this felt like after that initial kind of offense, defense, they both go, you feel good about what's happening, and then it just felt like the bottom kind of dropped out. Nobody could really get traction for anything. There's not really any numbers that are overwhelmingly impressive or exciting. This is just one of those games that you've got to like burn it and move on.
Well, if you can't tell, I've tried because
Yeah.
I don't even remember who he played.
Yeah,
but
you really flushed it.
I did. Tony Pollard started strongly. He had 10 carries for 60 yards, and the ground game looked good at the beginning of the game. Unfortunately, just weren't able to really use the ground game throughout the game because, as Coach Mack said, it was a separated score. But yeah, like you said, I would like to burn it. Now, I know Coach McCoy is going to be in here, and he's going to be talking about how, after the game and on Monday, you have to address it. You have to go through it, you have to correct it, and then you burn it.
Right.
And you move on to play the Browns.
Yeah, and you also have to remember it's never as good as you think it is, and it's never as bad as you think it is. And so after he has the opportunity to review the tape, I'm interested to hear what he has to say on this show about some of the things that he observed and what he saw and what some of his takeaways were. So definitely something to stay tuned for. But yeah, he can't burn it quite as quickly as you can, TZ. But
Well,
I think a lot of people are going to be ready to turn the page and head on over to Cleveland, even in the snow, to get that taste out of their mouth.
they would like that. There are a few other positives, though, that I'd like to point out. Defensively, I thought the Titans played a strong game. The Jags were 3 of 13 on third down. They only had 272 total yards. They only had 70 yards rushing. This is one of the better ground attacks in the NFL. Travis Etienne has had a good year, over 800 yards rushing, but they held him in check. And the Jags committed a lot of penalties. Now, the officials, it felt like they were required to throw a flag on almost a play-by-play basis in this game. The Titans had 10, but the Jags had 13 in the game. And Chim Dike had another great return in special teams. So those were some positives. And Jeffery Simmons' all-pro level season continues. 4 pressures, another sack in the game. He has been outstanding throughout this entire year.
He just continues to show up, and what an asset to this Titans team. You can't say it enough. Like, Big Jeff it feels like every week he just puts it on his back and says, all right, let's go. And he does what he needs to do. And, his leadership is great. The stuff he does in the community is great. But the way that he just shows up so consistency week after week after week after week, that's what you need on this Titans team.
Yes, you do, and it's important to carry him with you to Cleveland this weekend. And really, it's a matchup of 2 of the best players in the National Football League. The Cleveland Browns have been going through struggles for many years with one of the best, if not the very best players in the entire National Football League in Myles Garrett. This guy is a sack machine. And the Titans have this outstanding player in Jeff Simmons. So it's going to be a Garrett versus Simmons show. Cleveland is coming off a game where they lost 26-8 at home to the San Francisco 49ers. And they struggled mightily. They were inefficient on third down, 0 for 4 on fourth down. They had 4 fumbles in the game, Amie. They lost a couple of them. They only had 115 yards passing for Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, who, after the game, Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, says will start against the Titans on Sunday. So, and if you look at the overall season statistics for Cleveland compared to the Titans, it's pretty much neck and neck. This is a game you look at and you say, all right, the Titans have to win some of these games. For the development of their young players, they've got to do it. And you point at this week and say, this is a golden opportunity to get a victory.
Absolutely. There are so many things that it feels like the Titans match up really well against the Cleveland Browns. It feels like there's a lot of opportunity in that regard, as you were talking about. The rookie-on-rookie crime here with 2 rookie quarterbacks, I really like. I feel like it evens the playing field, gives both the opportunity to really show what they can do, and for Cam Ward to show why he was selected where he was in that draft. Overall, I think you're 100% right. I think this is a great kind of redemption opportunity for this Titans team, and I think that if they can rally around that, and that can be one of the motivating factors is, hey, listen, that was really rough, but look where we can go now. Look what we can do to get ourselves back on track, to right this ship a little bit. And this is a great opportunity to do that. And there's the whole weather of it all. I mean, they've played in a cold weather game. They're about to play in another cold weather game. It's not like there's going to be a huge adjustment. I kept thinking about those Jags players and like, aren't they chilly? Like, they're not used to this. This isn't, and really, I know I'm being a little bit silly when I say that, but like, there really is a weather factor that comes into play there. Snow is a foreign thing for a lot of teams in the National Football League. And the Titans have an opportunity, having gotten that cold weather hit, to continue on now, and hopefully it bodes well for them in Cleveland.
The forecast this week in Cleveland, the highs are in the low 30s all week with lows in the teens. There's snow being forecasted early in the week, and there's a 50% chance of snow on game day.
Woof.
High of 31, low of 23.
Well, call me.
You sure you don't?
if you want to chat or something, I'll be here.
I'll be in the warmth by my fire in Nashville if you need me. Yeah,
I will be here. Actually, I will be in Chattanooga. I'll be listening to you guys on the radio.
Okay.
TSSAA Blue Cross
Bowl
is this weekend.
Yeah.
I got to head down to Chattanooga. I've got some high school football to watch. Love me some championship games.
Shout out to your guy, Josh, who's going to be part of the coverage, and our own Lucas Panzica.
They're going to be calling a couple games together.
Yes.
Love it.
So looking forward to that.
Hey, football fans, satisfy your halftime hunger with Snickers, and you could win sweet prizes this NFL season. Visit snickers.com/halftime to enter and view the official rules. Pick up Snickers at a Kroger near you.
When you bring Hellman's Creamy Buffalo Chicken Dip to the watch party, you can cheer too loud, or block the TV, or be a couch coach, and no one will eject you from the game. That's a Hail Mayo. Hellman's, the official mayo of the Tennessee Titans.
Titans fans, SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of Tighten Up and here to help you experience all the action this season. SeatGeek makes it easy to find the perfect seats to the perfect game so you can be part of all the touchdown celebrations and momentum-shifting takeaways this season. Whether you're getting tickets to Titans games or to any live event in Nashville, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Tennessee Titans.
Hey Titans fans, with a Kroger Boost membership, you'll score big with double fuel points, free delivery, and lots more. Go to Kroger.com/boost for details. Kroger, the official grocer of the Tennessee Titans. Tighten up.
Coach, it started in a good way for the Titans. Got off the field, forced a Jaguars punt, and then you go down the field, you march down the field. 6-minute drive almost to get inside the 10-yard line. Ended up with a chip shot field goal for Joey Sly, and you grab that 3-0 lead. But it felt like after you weren't capable of stopping the Jags and they get a touchdown there, that fumble, it just changed all the momentum in the game.
Yeah, well, we wanted to get out to a fast start. That's what we talked about all week long from the first meeting on, get off to a fast start. And that's what the defense did, finishing with a sack, and then we go down there and get the field goal, and then unfortunately there's a turnover. And those are game-changing plays at some point in time. You don't know when they're going to come, but it kind of changed the momentum of the game there a little bit, and they got a touchdown off of it. So, we can't have that happen.
I know that you're going to talk about turnovers, but from an execution standpoint, Coach, what has to change offensively?
Well, we got to do all the little things right. Whether it's a progression by the quarterback, whether it's winning versus man coverage, whether it's picking up a pressure, whatever. There's a couple breakdowns there where the halfback didn't scan in protection twice in the game. So there's a couple drops in the game. So there's a number of things that you look at on every play, and that's on a weekly basis. But there was just too many of them this week to beat a good football team.
Now, it started, as we said, with a good first drive. Tony Pollard was effective on that first drive. He ended up with 10 carries and 60 yards. And I noticed there were several of those, as we call them, A-gap runs, where he's following Corey Levin, your center, in the game down the field. What did you think about Corey's ability to get off to a good start and the way Tony ran?
Well, Corey did an outstanding job of stepping in. Not surprised at all, though, because the way he ran the offseason. He had plenty of reps in training camp, and you just saw he's a veteran. He knows how to play the game. He works the right way. He's great with the younger players, so it wasn't shocking at all when he stepped up in there and got the opportunity to play this week. And then Tony, I was happy for him to get the 10 carries, get 60 yards. He hasn't had that production in a while. Unfortunately, with the way the game went and the flow of the game and the score, you wish you could get those carries into, 18, 19, 20-something carries for him, and then, maybe 100 yards at some point in time. So, but he was very efficient running the football.
He was. And we look at defensively and the way that the Titans played. The Jags were just 3 of 13 on third down. They only had 272 total yards. They only had 70 yards rushing. This is one of the better rushing attacks in the NFL. And the Jags committed 13 penalties in the game. What did you think of your defense's performance?
Well, they did a nice job. You look at it, I think the average was 2.6 per rush there. The third down defense was great. You just look at the game. There's a couple explosive plays in the second series. I think it was a 26-yarder, 50-yarder, and then the one touchdown. A couple series after that, and it's just there's a couple explosive plays you eliminate. But other than that, the efficiency of stopping the run and getting off the field on third down, the number of 3-and-outs that they had. Unfortunately, there was a couple penalties that extended some drives for them. One at the end of the half, and then one in the second half to start. So it's just it's unfortunate we had those penalties because otherwise it was a good day for them.
I'm not going to try to get you in any trouble talking about the penalties, but there were a lot called in the game. I mean, 13 on the Jags, 10 on the Titans. It just didn't feel like – it felt like it was hard to get a rhythm in the game because of that.
Yeah, that's a lot of penalties for one game. There's too many of them, and I'm just going to look at this side, on our side of the ball. We can't have those penalties to extend drives or make it that much more difficult for the offense to get a first down, things like that. Those are things you have to – it's really all three phases that the penalties were in this week, though.
Let's get back to the defense. Jeff Simmons had to miss a few games, unfortunately, due to injury. He looks like he's back to the way he was playing before the injury, Coach. He had 4 pressures in the game, a couple of tackles for loss, a sack. What'd you think of 98?
He dominated the game inside. Not shocking at all. That's who he is. It's great to see him playing that way. He's the leader of the team, and he physically dominated the inside.
Jihad Ward also with 4 pressures in the game. He had a sack. And Kevin Winston had a sack.
Well, it was great to see the defense get after Trevor. They did a great job. Unfortunately, they'll tell you today, too, there's a couple that left out there. And that's Trevor. He spins out of a lot of things, but I think Denard and the staff did a great job putting the plan together, how they're going to attack him and get after him. The players went out and executed and got after the quarterback.
You have been in so many division battles for the quarter century you've been in the National Football League. What we saw on Sunday at Nissan Stadium with some of the bickering back and forth, does that just speak to a rivalry game in the National Football League?
Yeah, it's a typical division game late in the year. There's a lot on the line going out there playing against a division opponent, and that's what usually ends up happening.
How much time do you spend on a game like that, Coach, when things don't go your way?
Oh, you look at it. You look at every little detail of that's every game you go into as a coaching staff. You come in Monday morning, you look at every little detail, and you go and you talk to the players and say, hey, listen, we all got to get better, and that's regardless of where it is in the season, what your record is. You're always trying to make these players better, and that's the one thing I think you'll see some of these younger players, especially growth that we've seen from these players, and that's because they want to be coached hard. They want to be told the truth. They want to be coached. They're going to make some mistakes. We're moving some guys around in different positions, so that's going to come up. So the key is don't make the same mistake twice moving down the road.
Yeah, and that makes a ton of sense because I think it's normal for the rest of us, the world, to say, burn the tape, forget about it. But you have to learn from it.
Yeah, you learn from every game, and there's always something you're going to learn from. And hey, listen, you also want to point out the good things too. There's certain guys who stepped up and did some really nice things in the game. You always want to point that out to those guys too. And it's not just, hey, listen, let's just not beat them up for all the negatives, but let's also talk about the positive things, and let's do more of the positives and minimize the negatives.
I know that in this last month, I've said it a number of times, I know you feel the same way, that the Titans were going to win some of these games, that we felt strongly that the Titans were going to win some of these games. Yeah. When it doesn't happen with a young football team, how do you keep them hopeful?
Well, number one, they have to stick together. Everybody, that's all you got in that room. And when you're on the field, it's 11 guys out there playing together, playing as one, but you have to stick together and just keep fighting. These guys work. They work extremely hard, and that was not our best game yesterday.
Now, looking forward to the Cleveland Browns, the Browns have a 3-9 record. It's been a rough season for them. Kevin Stefanski, their coach, he did a terrific job a couple years ago taking the Browns to the playoffs. But offensively, they've had their own issues. And if you look at the two teams statistically, Coach, it looks like a very similar type season. Third down numbers are similar. The fourth down numbers are exactly the same. They're averaging a few more total yards per game. They're a little more effective running the football than the Titans are, but not as effective passing it. Their yards per game for passing are under where the Titans are, and they've been sacked a bunch so far this season. You look at this game, and do you see two similar football teams that are about to line up against each other?
Well, yeah, you're going to go out there, and we're going to get into the tape later today and start studying them. But we've got to go out there and take care of ourselves. That's the big thing. Number one, we got to go out there, and they've got a great player on defense, and Myles Garrett, so we got to make sure we neutralize him. And then with them playing a young quarterback, and they've played a couple quarterbacks this year too. So when you make those changes, sometimes you have the ups and downs, and when you play some younger players, you're going to go through some of those struggles. But we got to go out there and worry about us, number one.
You mentioned maybe if there's one thing that sticks out on this stat sheet, it's Myles Garrett. He has 19 sacks this year for the Cleveland Browns. He's just a few sacks away from the NFL record, which is shared by J.J. Watt and Michael Strahan, and it looks like he has a real chance of surpassing that. Let's hope he doesn't add to that total this weekend against the Titans. How much concentration do you give an all-pro player these days in the National Football League?
You got to know where he is every single play. He's having an MVP-type season. He can change a game in a hurry, and so you've got to always know where he is every single play.
And the point is get rid of the football as quickly as you can.
You got it.
You got to take off if you have to.
Yeah, run the ball, all those good things, but keep it away from him.
All right. In the remaining minutes, I've got a fun question for you. Now, I'm going to ask Rhett Bryan about this coming up in the next segment in Titans Time Machine. I'm not asking you to go back in time with the Titans. I am asking you to go back in time in the 25 years you've been in the NFL and ask you what is the coldest game that you've ever coached or participated in?
Probably I'm looking back going the 2011 divisional game in New England. Playoff game with Tim Tebow in 11. It was freezing. It was that wet cold in New England. That was probably the coldest because we had, I think the next year it was -5 in Denver for a playoff game against Baltimore, but it was nowhere close to what it was like in New England to me.
Yeah, and that run with the Broncos, obviously when Tebow won you a playoff game, and then that was the next week, right?
Yeah.
Against the Patriots. Yep. Yeah, that was one of the coldest games ever, huh?
It was cold, at least for me it was. And plus we were getting our tail whooped, so that didn't help anything.
How much, now that we're many days away from the game, but as we look at the forecast right now, there's a real chance for snow on Sunday. How much, I know that our equipment team does an unbelievable job preparing our team for that. How much do the players have to think about being properly dressed for a game like that?
Well, I think every player is different. You know, some of these players just go out there and then they just have their normal gear on. They don't even worry about the sleeves. They go out and play. So, everybody's different. And so we'll talk about that as the week goes on.
What are you wearing?
Whatever's in my locker. Whatever Joey puts in my locker, that's what I'm going to wear.
Are you a 2-layer, 3-layer, 4-layer guy? Are you big on the thermals?
No, I'll have 2 layers on probably, depending on how cold it is. But sometimes I just, have a normal outfit on, depending on what the weather's like.
Okay, that skin
can always change.
That skin is thickened up since you were in San Diego for a few years.
No doubt.
Coach, we've seen some big surprises in the National Football League this year. And it's funny, I just talking to, a bunch of friends that love the NFL. Nobody can figure out who the best team in the NFL is right now. It doesn't. Now, there are a couple teams that only have 2 losses. Like the Denver Broncos are off to a terrific start this year. You look at the Broncos' record right now, they're 10-2. Patriots going into Monday Night Football are also 10-2. But every other team in the league has at least 3 losses. And it feels like they're, at least in the AFC, there's been this one team, the Kansas City Chiefs, that sort of have dominated things the last half decade. What do you think? Why do you think that is? Why there's not maybe as dominant a team this year?
Well, I think it's exactly what the NFL wants. They want parity.
Yeah.
And they want it to be week in and week out. Anybody can win a football game, and that's what you're seeing this year. And it's just the parity, and there's so many good players. And you've heard me say it a number of times, you've got to go in and play your best football week in and week out to win. If you don't, if you go into a game and you're this, one of the leaders, and all of a sudden you go out and turn the ball over to a certain team, you're going to get beat possibly. And so it's the parity is what it is, and that's exactly what this league wants, is to say go out there on Sunday and who knows who's going to win. There's going to be a favorite, obviously, but you've got to play your best to win.
Yeah, and you look at it, as we're sitting here, the Broncos share the best record in the NFL. Titans are 1-11. That was a one-possession game. Yep. Denver and Tennessee.
Yep, you got to go out there and you got to execute on, make the plays, and then you look at the games too. You talk about winning and losing is who is consistently making the plays week in and week out.
Yep, it is. It's kind of wild. The other question I was going to ask you is, I got this a couple of days ago. Who's the best team that you've seen this year, Taylor? And I said probably the Rams. Just in terms of the way that they played and just watching their execution, how good their offense is. How good Matt Stafford is playing at quarterback, Puka Nacua. And then, of course, I say that the next day the Carolina Panthers beat the Rams on Sunday. So to your point, anybody can beat anybody. But is there a singular performance you've seen against the Titans this year where you said, wow, watch out for that team in the postseason?
There's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
We played some good teams. And it's just, who's going to get hot at the right time, I think. That's really what happens is as you get to the month of December, get into January, who gets on that little streak, that little run that you got to get going to really get going into the postseason play, because we've played some very good teams, and I wouldn't say that there's just one. But you look at the top of the leaderboards across the divisions now, we've played a lot of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, the Rams and the Seahawks are tied atop the NFC West. Titans have played both of those teams, as you said. And obviously Indianapolis and Jacksonville are now tied in the AFC South, played the Texans twice. They're only one game back. Denver's at the top of the West, played them. Chargers are right there in playoff contention as well. So you're right, there's a lot of options there.
Well, then you look at Houston's defense too. They may not be one of the leading teams, but but their defense is the best in the business. And then we're facing a very similar team to that this week in Cleveland. So those are the top team. You look at the stats of everything and look at these two defenses that you're playing. So it's the NFL is so competitive. That's what you love about it all. The challenge every week in and week out.
I know how badly you want to come out on top, Coach, for these guys. So all those guys in the locker room, hope you have a great week of practice.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I'm Taylor Zarzour. This has been the OTP.